Hello everybody, my name is Foodle, and today I'm going to be doing another live video because I want to start doing stuff that isn't just computer-based and video game-based content and put on the channel. Anyway, today what I want to do is something Airsoft related, and that thing is 7 items that you need to get before you can go out and play Airsoft. And something that I see quite frequently on Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube is that you can start off playing Airsoft for like $150, $170, whatever the gun costs, plus 20 bucks for goggles, and that's it. But I'm here to tell you that you kinda just can't. There are these 7 items that people often forget and subsequently will have a relatively unenjoyable time at best, or at worst get seriously hurt. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into all these 7 items. The first item is a pseudo smartass one, but something a lot of people tend to forget when they're making their original budget. And that is, you need money for stuff at the field when you play Airsoft. Of course you need money to get into the sport. You need the gun, and you need the gear, and you need all that kind of fun stuff. But while you're at the field, you're gonna spend money. That's just the way it is. Average admission in the United States is somewhere around $25, give or take $5. In addition to that, you need somehow way to get out there. Public transportation is not very reliable if you're not inside the city, so you're gonna have to give a friend $5, get an Uber for $20, just pay $5 for gas or whatever, and you gotta make sure that you calculate that into your budget every time you go and play. You're gonna need to eat and drink while you're there. Most fields don't provide food. The cheapest way I've found to eat and drink while I'm there is $5, $2 for a Red Bull, $3 for 3 $1 Lunchables. In all reality, though, you're probably gonna spend closer to $15 for McDonald's, or if the field does have an in-store there, whatnot. So you're gonna have to make sure you calculate for that. You need to always remember that when you're playing Airsoft, you are using disposable resources. BBs are not reusable, so you're going to want to spend about $5 a weekend, or rather a day, on just BBs. In addition to that, if you run a gas gun, you need to power the gas gun. Even propane is $8 for a bottle that lasts you 2 or 3 weekends. Speaking of gas guns, you always need to remember that if you run gas guns, you're going to have to lube it up afterwards, so silicone oil is $2 a weekend, give or take. Continuing on, you always need to remember that when you play Airsoft, you can lose stuff. The stuff that you can lose can be expensive or it can be cheap, but you should always have $50 just kind of squirreled away in case something major blows the weekend before an event and you need that thing fixed, whether it be a part in your AEG or you lost a mag for your pistol or whatnot. So again, Airsoft costs might pass the original investment, and people just don't always remember that. Something else people don't really seem to remember as much as they should is water. Now, I say this more as you need to drink water than you need to physically have water, but you should always physically have water. There are definitely better videos on YouTube about the merits of hydration, but the demerits of not drinking enough water is that you can pass out. You can pass out and die. You can hurt yourself somehow, or you can just not have energy. And none of those things are good. They're all very, very bad, as a matter of fact. Water is easily accessible. You should be drinking, give or take, a gallon the day before, a gallon while you're there, and a gallon the day afterwards. You can adjust those values to your body size. I'm only about 160 pounds, but that number is relatively good for me. There's videos and channels on how much water you should be drinking, but for the love of God, drink water. And in addition to that, you should be carrying water onto your field. It's something that is a big problem, is that I've seen kids go out without any sort of water on there, and if the game goes past in 30, 45 minutes, you're going to get thirsty. Airsoft is a physical activity, and you're probably doing it outside. So you can carry water in all manner of ways. The cheapest and easiest way is those disposable bottles that you can get for like a 30-pack for $2 or $3 at Walmart. You can just fit those into a mag pouch or a pocket or whatever. You can invest in canteens. Those are about $5. They fit in butt packs. Having a water bladder is a more expensive way to do it, and I've never actually done it, but you can get one of those for $30 and you'll be consistently hydrating. That's good. Hell, even that bottle was about $2 and it fits into my butt pack. So for the love of God, just drink water. If you don't, you're going to have a bad time. And make sure you always have like a gallon in your car too, because after the game is over, come back and drink, even if you don't drink while you're in the field because you're stupid. Continuing on, though, the next thing is, this is something that everybody on the face of the earth will agree that you need. You need goggles and eye protection. Face protection is less so, and I personally don't use it because I don't like my teeth. But for the love of God, you need to wear goggles. It doesn't matter if you're going out and just for a little nature hike in the field, if you're just playing in your backyard, you can't replace your eyes, at least not easily and cheaply and legally. Uh, when you're going and shopping for goggles, make sure of a few things. One is, the most important, is that it's ANSI 87.1, I believe, is the correct rating. It's a rating and it will say on the page whether it's ANSI rated. That said, don't buy goggles that are questionably sketchy and cheap. These goggles I currently run are ESS Land Warriors. These are $25 off of eBay as unused military surplus. They're ANSI rated, they're cheap, they fit over my glasses. Good. They don't really fog, but fogging is less important than actually having them protect them. If you don't want to buy stuff off of eBay, eBay sells a similar pair for $40. They're called something. Just look up ESS goggles. Don't buy shady brand goggles. ESS, Revision Locust, and Oakley are the three ones that you're going to want. Don't buy stuff that's made internationally. Lancer Tactical sold falsely rated goggles, and people got hurt because of it. And just don't. Don't run goggles that might be questionably okay, but look cool. Nobody's going to give a shit if you're running a World War II kit and your goggles aren't World War II. They're going to care a lot more if you get shot in the eyes and your goggles weren't properly rated, now your field has to shut down. Don't chance your eyes. Home tests are not a valid way to check if your gun is safe. People have high-powered guns. People have guns that slip through chrono. For the love of God, just wear good eye protection. It's such a silly thing, but it's such a bad thing that could end terribly. And as a whole, could seriously hurt the sport if you end up blinding yourself because you're stupid. So those are the three kind of big objective things. But we also want to talk about four things that are kind of subjective, but I still believe are more or less objective. The first one of which is boots. This one comes with a disclaimer. If you're playing the CQB, you do not really need to wear boots. That said, if you're playing outdoors, you 100% want good boots. And no, I say good boots, not $50 Rothko boots. That's what I did for a while. Is I wore cheap Rothko desert combat boots. I ended up hurting my ankle because I was running through the mud, and it hurt me in my life for a bit. Don't do that. Good boots are about $100 is what you should be looking for. You don't have to wear combat boots. Some people don't like them. That's fair. You can wear hiking boots. You can, of course, wear combat boots. You can wear tactical boots, but just wear good boots. They provide ankle support when you're running around in the mud. They make so you don't slip. They're good. Wear good boots. The ones I personally run are Rockies. These were $100. I bought them a year ago, and they fit my size 14 foot amazingly, and I've never had a problem with them. You should also, brands like 511 are pretty cheap too. You can get 511 EMT boots for about $60 or $70. Those are good. You can get hiking boots from REI or wherever for about the same price. Good. Spending more on boots is never a bad idea either. Danner and Salmoon, I believe they're called, Salomon, which are hiking boots. Those are all good boots too, but don't cheap out on boots, for the love of God. Just don't, because like I said, that's something I have personal experience with. The next thing, and this is relatively a subjective one, but I'm going to classify it as a requirement, because why not, really? And this is the big quality of life thing. Nylon socks. I never ran nylon socks up until about 3 weeks ago. My God, these things are nice. When you're playing Airsoft, your feet will get wet. You can be in the desert, but your feet are going to sweat and they're going to get wet, and cotton socks just don't work. These ones were $10. They are Under Armour, just boot socks. They're nylon boot socks. They work great. They dry quick enough. I was just this last weekend running around in the water in a swamp, and basically whenever I got back to spawn, wrung them out, they were dry enough, good enough to go. Cotton socks, I would have been miserable and got my feet blistered to hell. Also, if you're doing extended games, don't be like me and come back from Milson West with feet that look like I'm 1,000 years old. Change your socks. 2 pairs of socks are better than the cotton socks that you're ever going to buy. You can also look into merino wool ones, but those are more expensive, and at that point you probably shouldn't be watching my video if you have that kind of money to burn. So, now let's go and talk about another one of these things, which is, this one's very subjective, but this is something I'm considering a requirement for me, personally at least. Knee pads. I never, ever ran knee pads. I didn't for about 1.5 years, and I picked up some knee pads, and my God, these things are good. I picked up kind of bad knee pads. These are Russian Ratnik knee pads. They're not great, but they are there. I slide around and you're on your knees when you're playing airsoft, whether you're crawling around in cover, you're in the woods and going on your hands and knees to crawl through some bush, whether you're sliding into cover, sliding to hit some friends out of danger, whatever you're doing, knee pads are good unless, well, not unless. You can wear standalone knee pads. There are better knee pads out there. There are Arc toys. They're about $60. Those are apparently godly. These things were $20. They're good. You can also run Cry G2, G3s, which have integrated knee pads, which are amazing, by the way. But those are more expensive. Not as, I mean, they're more useful, but you should really get knee pads because, like I said, you're gonna slide and your knees are gonna thank you in 5 years. Now let's go on to the last thing, and this one I don't consider subjective at all, and it's something that I have never not played with, despite the weather or whatever, and that is gloves. The fact of the matter is, when you're playing airsoft, you're doing stuff with your hands. You're holding your gun, you're grabbing onto wood that can splinter up your hand, you're crawling around, like I said, on your hands and knees, you're grabbing random stuff from around corners. Gloves help you protect your hands. If you go out without gloves, and you count them up, how are you going to drive home if your hands are all cut up? No, these are sometimes uncomfortable. If the weather's really hot, they're not comfortable. But you know what's less comfortable? Getting shot in the hands. I've gotten shot in the hands without gloves, and that sucks dick. And that's an understatement of the year. When you're in the woods, I often grab onto random branches. If I wasn't wearing gloves, that would really scar my hands. You need hand protection if you're going out. You can wear fingerless ones. You're going to get shot in the fingers, which is going to suck, but you need them. And these are a relatively cheap thing too. Personally, I run Splav Rage gloves because I'm too cheap for Oakley's, but I like hard knuckles. These were $30 from Gray Shop. But you can always go a different route. The most common route is mechanics gloves. They're $20, available virtually anywhere in America. They're amazing gloves. I think I have a pair somewhere, but they're super breathable, super good gloves. The mechanics M-Packs are the ones that you're going to want to look for. But wear gloves. But this video's been a bit more long-winded than I originally intended. So if we go and zoom out. In conclusion, if you're going to take anything from this video, drink water, wear goggles. Past that, wear boots, wear gloves. Knee pads and nice socks are a huge quality of life improvement. But for the love of God, all this stuff is cheap. At the end of the day, my boots were $100. The socks were $10. The goggles were $30, so that brings us to $140, $160 with the $20 knee pads, $180 for the hard knuckle gloves, $10 for the water, and $10 for the machine. You're looking at $200. But the nice thing about all this is that if you do decide that you don't really enjoy airsoft, you don't really need, these aren't airsoft exclusive items. Assuming you do stuff outside of whatever you do, school or your job. These boots I have been wearing, I wear these relatively pretty much every other day when I have to go outside and do some yard work, when I go on a hike, when I just want to take my dogs on a hike or walk at the dog park that's muddy. The socks are useful because they're comfortable. The iPro is relatively not useful, but if I'm doing woodwork, never hurts. Knee pads, again, yard work. Gloves, anything, winter's coming. These kind of keep you insulated-ish. I wore mechanics gloves at my warehouse job, and that was when I was in the cold, and those worked. The water bottle never hurts to always drink water just consistently throughout the day. And money is money. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I'll probably do more of these videos on things like quality of life items and a nice beginner loadout that I have just behind me, as well as other specific things. If you have a video request, please leave it in the comments. Check me out on Reddit. This is going to be linked on Reddit as well as YouTube. Feel free to check out my Flickr. I'm pretty sure that's linked through Reddit as well. Check out me on Steam, all that kind of stuff. Leave suggestions if this video turned out well, because I want to know if I should keep on doing this or if I should invest in a nicer trip up. So, but anyway, I'll see you guys all in the next one.